Talking shit.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Talking Shit. We are back. We are back in the studio. I'm Sarah Pararia. Prince Huda joins me here at the Sports Interaction Studio. How are you?
I'm doing good. We all got to be in the same room for the first time last week. That was fun.
Yeah, Johnny Junta coming from Guelph once again. But before we jump into the show, just big shouts to you and Adrian last week. Gate 14. Jays are back. How much fun did you have last week?
A little bit too much fun. No, I kept it between the lines, and a lot of people say they can't really notice when I'm like really banged up, but I was pretty fairly banged up. I didn't eat the entire day. The first meal I had, I said this to Sean, was at like 11 p.m. Like midway through the bar. I go get food. Yeah, I was banged up. A lot of listeners buy me shots and drinks, and it got absurd at a certain point. But I kept it between the lines. I was good.
Hey, the Jays are back. It should be absurd. That's like your bread and butter. Thank you to all the fans and everyone who came out. It was a great event. Let's get more of that going on because it's baseball season. But we have to start with Manchester United and Chelsea. That game just ended as we are recording.
Congrats.
Thursday.
Well done.
My Pararia pick of the week, by the way, from Homestand FC was Cole Palmer to score and both teams to score. Hammered that early on in the game. But Johnny, you were watching this live. We were kind of setting up here a bit, but lots of extra time added. Cole Palmer, that guy, 4-3 for Chelsea in the end. United fans are pissed.
I like his celebration. He does the little Colt. He does like he's Colt. He's electric.
Yeah, that's class.
I mean, Chelsea originally were the ones that bottled that game. They were up 2-0, and then they gave up 3 unanswered goals. So it took them a goal in the 98th minute and then a goal in the 101st minute to win that game. But if you watch the goal back, it was a corner kick. He gives it to Cole Palmer, and Man United defense just stands still. I don't know if you saw the goal, but and then Cole Palmer just shoots it, and it deflects off Man United defender and goes in, and it just, there you go. Chelsea wins. But what a game. I had the over pre-game, which was 3.5 at -115. And then I had live bet Chelsea to win when they were down 3-2. Winners like that don't usually happen for me. So it was electric to see. It's just, the Premier League is the best. It's you have the fans that are so passionate. Because I tweeted Manchester United with the biggest meltdown ever, and everyone in the comment section was saying it's rigged, the refs, all of that. So it's just great.
Yeah, a lot of the sentiment is why was extra time so long? Rigged,
guys,
bullshit.
This is football these days. They told you at the beginning of the season for celebrations, for taking long to sub, they're gonna add extra time. I don't care if you agree with the rule, but that is the rule. Like, let's not pretend that this is the first game where we've seen a match go into like the 100th minute. It happens every weekend. Get out of town, Manchester United. You bottled it. Hold the L.
Terrible bottle job. A generational bottle.
I mean,
job.
I'm here for it. I hate United. I'm not a big United supporter. Also, just for United though, in general, like as a neutral, they kind of need to completely crumble in order to rebuild this team. And these little spurts that they keep getting where they win and they come back, like that's giving them this false hope. I think they really they need to hit the fan in order for them to kind of restart the entire project, basically.
Yeah, I hate their coach. Ever since, listen, I'm not the biggest Ronaldo fan, but like the mistreatment of Ronaldo that last season there when the coach took over or the manager took over was insane. Yeah, it was wild. So I guess he's getting what's coming to him, and now Man United is 10th place in the Premier League, or no, sixth in the Premier League. If they win that game, they're actually they're pretty close to qualifying for Champions League. I mean, they're not too many points behind Aston Villa, who's in 4th.
They're 6 behind Spurs right now, right?
Yeah, 6 behind Spurs, 7 behind Aston Villa, or 8 behind Aston Villa.
Get out of here. Stay in the Europa League.
Yeah, they're not probably playing the Europa League, but just absolutely incredible stuff. You love to see it. They got worked.
We do love to see it because April is a month for footy in the Premier League because we're talking a title race between 3 horses, which we haven't seen since like maybe the early 2000s. It's always been a 2-horse race. Now we got Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City going at it. It is so close. Liverpool won today. City and Arsenal won yesterday. It's fantastic. But we got the Champions League mixed in that, which means these teams are all playing 9 matches in the month of April. Well, until May 4th.
Yeah.
But that is so much football. We got midweek footy in the Prem, midweek footy in Champions League. Like, I am loving it because there's no way every team is going to be able to get the results they want. And like seeing just the Man U Chelsea game is like we're April 4th today. It's starting off so well. So brings me to Champions League, guys. We're finally here.
Well, just to say, is this better than June then? Because last week it was June's the best. Well, I guess for betting, you said June. We changing to April now with everything going on?
I love both. Like June is still well, June, like I got the Copa and the Euros starting.
Right.
So like, I mean, we got different things going on, but April's always a really interesting time in the footy season because everything ramps up in Europe. Like the Champions League returns. There's a lot of made up games. There's a lot of like the FA Cup final comes in. Like it's just, there's so much footy. And this is usually where we separate the boys from the men. Like this is like, who can compete? Now we'll see, because like there's no messing around anymore. Yeah, it's going to be good. But guys, let's talk Champions League because we talked about it, I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. We obviously talked about it after the draw. Johnny, you were saying this is like the best draw you've ever seen. It's finally happening on Tuesday. We're going to see Bayern and Arsenal and Man City and Real Madrid. The bets have changed. I mean, the odds have changed a little bit. We got some player props. So we got to go over it all again because there's obviously been some changes to the teams as well. We got injuries and whatnot going on. But Johnny, let's start with you and let's start with that Arsenal and Bayern game. What are you thinking?
I'm all over Arsenal. Arsenal. Maybe I'm drinking the Arteta Kool-Aid. I love Arsenal here. Minus 120 to qualify for the next round. That's what I'll be betting. Just eliminate the extra time, eliminate all that type of stuff. Just Arsenal to qualify for the next round at minus 120. I love Arsenal. I think they're a wagon. I love Saka. They looked pretty good yesterday, actually, Arsenal as well. So I love what I'm seeing out of this team.
Standard win against Luton.
Yeah, and Bayern has been the complete opposite of looking good. I hate Bayern also, just to be clear, but I'm all over Arsenal. I love Arsenal here.
Hideo, you got a pick for this game?
I remember the Arsenal game. The penalty shootout was the most electric game.
Yeah. You got to thing with Arsenal.
You got to ride the team that came off a win like that. It's hard to pick against them. And to your point, you did mention that you're not a fan of Bayern Munich. Is that an emotional wager then on Arsenal, or is it brain there too?
I just don't think Bayern Munich is that strong this year, to be honest with you, man. They're actually, this might be one of the first years in a while they haven't won a trophy if they don't win the Champions League. So like this is like the worst this club has looked. Yeah.
I think the last time Bayern didn't win a trophy, so the last time Dortmund won the Bundesliga was 2011, 2012, but I think Bayern still won the DFB Pokal, so I think it was the year before maybe. No, they won the league. Yeah. Might have been that league. It might have been that year. It's been over 10 years.
Didn't they just lose to Dortmund on the weekend?
Yeah,
Bayern?
for the first time since 2018 in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What is this?
They're coming into this like this is really bad. Like Thomas Tuchel is obviously, as we mentioned, he's going to be gone after this season. So yeah, this team is not coming in hot. So I'm riding the hot hand in Arsenal, who's looked good in the Prem. 1 point back or 2 points back of the top of the table, ahead of Manchester City. I love Arsenal, so I'm looking forward for this game. This game's gonna rock.
Nice. Just for the first match here, obviously all these games are 2 legs, but Arsenal minus 115 to win, draws plus 275, and Bayern Munich plus 290. Arsenal, the heavy favorites at the Emirates. No shock here. I'm riding Johnny's bet all the way here. I'm back in Arsenal.
Squad ride. There we go.
Yeah, no,
there we go.
I love what Arteta's done. They've shown so much maturity since last season. I love seeing a team learn from their mistakes, and that's exactly what Arteta's doing. And like you mentioned, Bayern, inconsistent, no sort of, consecutive play here. Players all over the place. They're not backing their manager. Let's go, Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Now for the biggest maybe match of the quarterfinals.
Holy cow.
Real Madrid, Manchester City. The first match is going to be in Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu on Tuesday. Right now, Madrid is plus 180. The draw is 260, plus 260, pardon me. And Manchester City is plus 135. City are still the favorites at the Bernabeu. Huda, let's start with you for this one. I mean, this one, you can go either way, I think. But are you leaning somewhere?
I might just take over 2.5 minus 145. Not the best odds, but
Yeah.
We saw Man City just score at an incredible pace in the first round. It seems like one of those games, like I know we've kind of gone back and forth with these two teams. Looking at the odds, both teams being at plus makes it seem like it could go either way. So I'll just sit back, take the over, and enjoy this one and just hope for some goals. 2.5 doesn't seem like it's out of reach for either team here.
Yeah, I think this could be maybe not this. I don't think this one will be that high scoring. I think the second leg will be a lot more higher scoring. Johnny, I know you were back in City last time we talked about this. You still back in City?
Yeah, I'm still back in City, but I know the prop's not up yet. I want to take Phil Foden anytime goal scorer. That guy is on the loose. He is insane. And he's honestly making Haaland. He's making Haaland look like a bum, to be honest with you. Phil Foden is doing all the goal scoring. I'm all over Phil Foden. Like I said, we're going to ride the hot hand here. I will probably take Phil Foden anytime goal or assist. I don't know if those odds are up yet, but I love that play.
I'll do the same, but I'll go for Jude Bellingham. Absolutely. Okay. Jude Bellingham, the guy for Real Madrid. Fair. Assist or goal for sure. I think that's absolutely going to happen. This one, I mean, I don't know. I think Real could win this. I think it could be a 1-0 even for Real, but I think we're really going to see all the, marbles kind of fall in the second leg. I don't think this one's going to be as exciting as we're building up. We're building it up. It's still going to be but it's the first leg. I think everyone's going to be a little bit timid. I don't know. Like Real know that the second match is in City. They're going to have to defend. They want to try and keep a clean sheet. I think a 1-0 Real Madrid could easily happen here. And City take that and go home and think it's one goal. Like that's not going to phase us that hard.
Yeah.
I hope it's going to be like a 4-3 again, like Man U and Chelsea today, but we'll see.
That usually happens though in the first leg of these like highly anticipated matches anyways. So I could agree with that. But last time I think when Real Madrid last won the Champions League, the first leg, City was up won the first leg 3-1, and then Real Madrid came all the way back. No?
This is what I'm saying, guys. I know you've been backing City, but I'm still going to back Madrid in this one for a little controversy between us, but also just because Real know how to get away and win this tournament. So let's see. For this one, we're all staying away from the winner though. Okay, so who does got the goals? Johnny and I are going for player props, guys. Make sure you wait until the lineups come out, and also hold on a bit because the props will be coming closer to match time. But Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, easy money in my opinion.
If you're both taking goal scores, then the over makes a bit of sense here, right?
Yeah,
because then we can all eat with the goal for you, and over, right?
There you go.
There we go.
That's
even
it.
Rodri.
Right.
I mean, there's some good value usually on Rodri to score. I know it's not up yet, obviously, but he's been on the loose as well. So even an assist, maybe a Rodri assist might make more sense. But
Rodri or Rodrigo, maybe turning up at Madrid for he's only 2 goals behind Vinicius Jr. We got to talk about this guy. I mean, Vinicius Jr. Was kind of the poster boy for Madrid after the Benzema and Ronaldo era, and I mean now Jude's there, but Rodrigo kind of gets forgotten in the shadows a bit. But this guy is someone to watch. I think he could be the goal scorer for Madrid as well. So keep your eyes on the player props. Following week, so not next week, week after, first game, Atletico and Dortmund. And I'm starting here because I'm back in the boys from Madrid, Atleti, Diego Simeone. I don't care. They got past Inter. I don't care if it was pretty. They did what they needed to do. And that's how these guys potentially could get to a Champions League final. Atletico Madrid could win the UCL this year, which is insane to me. But I'm backing these guys. I think they got it in them. The Wanda's a fortress. So is the Signal Iduna Park. But opening the odds here. Sorry, just give me a moment, guys. But to qualify, Atleti are the favorites, -175. Dortmund are +125. In the first match, obviously, it's at the Wanda. Atleti -120. The draw is +260. And Dortmund +320. Johnny, talk to me here.
I'm like I said, I'm very what have you done for me lately? And seeing Dortmund beat Bayern Munich on the weekend. I think I'm going to go with the first leg of this to be a draw at +260. I like the first leg to be a draw. It's either that or the under. That. I don't know which one to take.
The 0-0 draw. That's what this is going to be.
I mean, if you got a tie, then that's all you can ask for, right? Take the under and take the draw.
Yeah.
Might not be a bad shout.
But
I mean, listen,
I like
Atleti
under
know how to
2.5.
play that low block. Sorry, go ahead.
I like under 2.5 at -120. But if you want to get really like taking the draw plus 260 looks cool, looks good too, to be honest with you, especially with
Yeah.
both these teams kind of feeling each other out. So I would definitely take the draw here. Just sprinkle it, but really put whatever amount of your unit size is on the under in this game.
One play in this game or parlay leg. Salute to Jean-Louis. He works here at Sports Interaction. He's been giving us locks for soccer. He gave us PSG over Marseille on Sunday. That was a big one. He said Julian Brandt to get a shot in the last time Dortmund played in the Champions League. He had a shot in like the first 15 minutes. So I'm going to ride that one again. I'm not sure what the odds will be like on that, but for a parlay leg, Julian Brandt 1+ shot as well.
That's easy money for sure. Julian Brandt.
Yeah, he's been firing. Shout out to you. I know you're watching, so I'm going to tail you again here with Julian Brandt.
Yeah, definitely a player to watch. Him, Adeyemi, Malin for Dortmund, potential goal scorers. I mean, Griezmann to assist, not a bad shout. I don't think so either. Morata to score, but I'm going to look at the player props in the second leg more so. I think Johnny's right. I think like I see a 0-0, maybe 1-1. I like the draw though.
Plus money tie. I like that.
Yeah. All right, guys. And finally, this one's personal. Barcelona versus PSG, starting at the Stade de France in Paris.
Last time, I just want to say, last time Barcelona played, your best bet was don't bet on this game. Is it the same approach here today?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I might be a little bit biased because like when it's your team, it's emotional. You don't want to get involved in this. Looking at it now, I mean, they're obviously going to play Mbappe, but they've been trying to move him out. I don't know, Johnny, if you saw, he got subbed off in that Marseille match.
Yeah,
and then we
pissed.
saw he was pissed, but you got to give Enrique a bit of kudos because he's trying to build a team around this guy. I mean, without this guy being there, sorry. So he's got to work with his other players. Like Mbappe, you made your bed 3 years ago when you didn't go to Madrid the first time. This is what you get. Honestly, like how many times has he just, pulled our heartstrings and told us he was going somewhere and then he wasn't. So I don't really feel too bad for him. Still a World Cup winner at the age of 18. So I think he'll be just fine. But listen, this guy's going to be absolutely crucial. I think we talked about it last time, but we all basically said it's up to Mbappe whether or not PSG are going to beat Barcelona. I can see PSG winning this first leg. I don't think by a great margin. They're at home. Mbappe's going to want to dance. I think Barcelona can still qualify and go through, but I think PSG winning this, they're right now plus 100 to win the first leg. The draw is plus 275 and Barca's plus 240. Mm-hmm. I can see PSG just getting, the home win here overall, but Barca's plus 100 to qualify. PSG's minus 135. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Lamine Yamal, kid's gonna dance.
If you think what happens, you can get better value for Barcelona to qualify if after they lose game one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, listen, PSG to win the first game, regular time plus 100. Don't hate that. Huda, what are you thinking? Anything?
Well, to your point about first legs kind of being a feeling out here, may take the opposite approach that I did to Real Madrid Man City under 2.5 plus 110. Mm-hmm. If Mbappe is kind of being phased out of this.
He won't be phased out in these games because this is they got to win the Champions League here. Like if Mbappe wins the Champions League with his last season in Paris, like the stories are going to be like it's written. It's insane. So he'll definitely be playing, but I think in some of the league games they're just trying to phase him out a bit because they have a bit more leeway to do so.
Okay.
These are one-off games, right? It's not like everything matters here. He'll be playing.
Yeah. Then I'll roll with you in PSG then. Plus money. I'm sure that'll change at some point in the next 2 weeks, but if I was to lock it in now, it'd probably be that at plus 100.
Yeah. Johnny, anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go. I'm taking a lot of unders here, but this game has underwritten all over it.
Okay.
Under 2.5
1-0 PSG.
Under 2.5 at plus 110. PSG wins 1-0, 2-0. It's going to be a low scoring game. I think I'm probably going to get old takes exposed for this, but I could see this being a very low scoring game.
I'm happy with that because then take them back to Barcelona and that's it. Lamine Yamal do the dance and hey, anything can happen.
Johnny, is that a verb? I'm going to be old takes exposed by this.
Yes,
I always
say that on Gate 14. Yeah,
I like that.
I have tons of takes like that.
Oh, I'm sure in the annals of the show, there's stuff that we've said. That's annals. Sorry, my bad. Words.
Annals
today.
Is that how is that the word of it?
Wow.
We'll cut that. We'll cut that.
No, we won't.
We'll
Almost
cut
as
that.
bad as you interrupting the American national anthem at last week's event. Incredible.
Listen, who was
Nothing
there
wrong
to
with that.
hear that? Thank you. Who was there to hear that?
I don't know, man.
I told them turn it off.
Everyone literally was like looking at me, and I was like, "It's not me. I didn't. No."
Okay, so for some insight on that, we had the Blue Jays watch party last week. I was emceeing, and I told the staff at the restaurant after the Canadian anthem, mute it. We're going to intro the party, talk about the giveaways and all that. She couldn't get the mute thing to work until about like 30 seconds through the American anthem, and I did it, and Sarah was not having it, that I censored the American anthem on that day. So if you were offended personally by that action, like you were, I apologize.
I wasn't
but
personally offended. I think there's just a level of professionalism we should.
Well, if I did it during the Canadian anthem, I think people would have been more pissed off.
Anthem.
But then I'm going to do it during first pitch, though. So
you could have done it through a commercial. There were times. These are lessons learned. It's fine.
I did it through the first Jays home run of the season, which I felt pretty bad for too. That was funny. That was funny. I was like, everyone's cheering. I was like, oh, this is a great response to what I'm saying. And it's oh, they're hitting a home run. So
perfect.
Live and learn.
There you go. Exactly. Live and learn. All right, guys. So next time we talk, we'll know the first leg of the Bayern Munich Arsenal and the Real Madrid and City game. So we'll obviously talk about that, and we'll see if anything's changed with the other two, the Dortmund Atleti and the PSG Barca game in terms of players and injuries and whatnot. But I can't wait for Champions League, guys. I'm so excited. I'm ready. I'm ready. Hopefully we keep our
we're 8-7, I believe, in best bets.
All right, let's keep
it. Over 500. Let's ride off into the sunset and stay over 500 here.
All right, someone who isn't riding off into the sunset, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Love that segue.
Great segue.
All right, we got Boston and Florida. I'm going to go to you first on this, Hudo, because you are a diehard Leafs fan, as we all know. But if you're picking between these two in the first round of playoffs, who would you rather see and why?
It's a great. So right now, Florida's been pretty poor, 2-7-1 in their last 10. So you would think, okay, let's take the shittier performing team heading into playoffs, but I'd imagine that they turn it around. You don't want them to heat up in the first round. As crazy as it sounds, I'd like the Leafs to play Boston. I feel like there's that built-in rivalry there. They've knocked us out of the first round, I think 3-4 times in the last few years. Who can forget the 4-1 comeback in the third period of Game 7 of 2013? I certainly can't. So I think exercising the demons of past of Maple Leaf playoffs, I'd love to see them face Boston. I do think that they could, take them out this year. Boston did get bounced in the first round last year, so I'd imagine that weighs heavy in the mind. But, they came off 2 back-to-back losses to the Bruins to end the season series, so I think they have that momentum carrying in where there's a bit more piss and vinegar than there was in previous years. So I personally would like to see the Leafs Boston, and I think this is the year that they could beat Boston in the first round. I don't want to get old
Leafs
takes
Boston
exposed, but I would like to see that.
Though, like that, I feel like that just cuts everyone deep. No, Johnny?
Yeah, I want to see that. Kind of cure the demons that have killed you for the past 7-8 years.
Oh, literally. Literally.
If I am a Leaf fan, I'm probably preferring the Bruins because of how good the Florida Panthers have been this entire season. I mean, one of the best teams in the NHL. Goaltending is really good. They're good offensively, good defensively. If I'm a Leaf fan, I'm praying for Boston so you could really come all the way back, cure the demon, beat the demon, and go on a little run here. That's the best way to do it. It's the best storybook type of ending for this Leafs team, and beating the Boston Bruins is massive accomplishment, especially for an organization that has lost to them so many times in the past 10 years, I want to say. So I'm looking forward to seeing that potential matchup. That'd be sick, especially with the rivalry between Marchand and Marner and all those guys. So that's going to be electric.
Yeah. Did you see that mic'd up clip of Marchand and Marner in the last game? What a weird. Yeah. Marchand's just a weird guy. Like, remember a few years ago, he's like licking. He licked someone in the scrum after the whistle. Like, just a weird cat. So I'd love to send him home in the first round.
Freaking weird cat. Who the heck says weird cat? Only weird cats. Okay, let's talk about your boy Austin Matthews.
Yes.
Kind of the saving grace, I feel like, for the Leafs. Very openly, I'm not a big hockey fan, nor am I a Leafs fan whatsoever. In fact, I root against the Leafs at all times. But I mean, He really is the guy. And like I hear a lot of my friends, whether it's Sean or Birdie, Justin, talking about how there's so many other Leafs players that are just not doing it. And they're not consistent. But Austin Matthews really is. Like he is him. And
for sure.
He is like if it wasn't for Austin Matthews. Okay, wait, no, this is actually the question. Where would the Leafs be? In the ground.
In the ground? Yeah, I don't know. He's won them a lot of games this season with like hat tricks or late goals, overtime winners. So yeah, I don't see them being the same level of success without him. Probably the best pick in the draft we've had in many, many years. Obviously being the first pick, you can't really mess it up. But yeah, I remember, in the early days of this show, we had the debate, is Matthews the greatest Toronto athlete of all time? And we have 7 games left in the regular season. Well, 6 after Saturday's game against Montreal. 63 goals. If he can get that 7 in those last 6 games, I will concede to Johnny's point that is the greatest Johnny, Toronto athlete of all time.
He's hitting 70? He's hitting over 70?
Yeah, he's going to get to 70. He's going to get to 70.
Yes.
The guy's on a mission right now. 3 goals in his last 2 games. 3 goals in his last 2 games.
Empty netters are 2.
Empty netters count. I think this game Saturday, he's going to have one of these games in the next week or so where he scores 3 and just like puts him pretty much above pace to hit 70. I think he does it. I know people are talking about should the Leafs rest Matthews, this and that for the playoffs. I think 70 goals is like something that is so rare in the NHL and something that it's so like such a prestigious thing to do where I can't see the Toronto Maple Leafs sitting him. Game 81, 82, if they've already clinched that spot. I think he's going to hit 70, though. I really do. Before the last game, I think he will.
He has 63 right now, correct?
He has to. Yeah, he's so close. Like, you don't want him to finish with like 68 or 69.
There's 7 games left of the regular season. That seems doable.
Yeah, and he's also had the most hat tricks in the league this year, too. So he rips off 3 in a game, and all of a sudden that number is like very, very much within reach. So it would be great for the city. I mean, did you see the reaction when he hit 60 in Buffalo? The team was going crazy. The fans were going crazy. Like, if we are doomed for a first round early exit in the playoffs this year, at least let us have this with the 70 plus goals this season.
Crazy.
It's at the end of the day, none of it's going to matter if he doesn't score in the playoffs. So that's what it's all going to boil down to for Leafs fans. Like, this is fun, but if he doesn't score in the playoffs, it really won't matter at the end of the day.
Oh
yeah, I think the way I was talking to someone about this week, like for the longest time, this team was terrible. Like, you weren't even thinking about playoffs in April. You weren't even watching the Leafs in April. It's kind of like the way the Raptors are playing right now, where it's like, it's on, you'll check it out. They're losing. You're going to change the channel. It's like, oh, what draft pick do we have? So to grow up watching the Leafs be so bad that playoffs wasn't even in our vocabulary for as many years as it was. I know they get bounced in the first round every year. And, last year was they made it to the second round and then they lose in a really humiliating way. I'm just happy with what I'm seeing and the success levels that this team has had in the last few years. Just appreciating it while I have it because, could they win a cup? Maybe, probably not. But I'm just happy to see a successful team and people talking about the Leafs in a high regard than they used to, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Finding a diamond in the rough.
Got to stay positive. Got to stay positive.
Literally all you have.
Once we get to that first round of the playoffs on this show, let's see. But for now, positive. Nylander 100 points, potentially. Matthew 70 goals. There's a lot to be happy about as a Leafs fan right now.
There you go. All right, lastly, before we jump away from hockey, thank God. I'm kidding, guys. Art Ross Trophy. We got McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov. And right now, Kucherov is...
It's going to be close.
Minus 150 at Sports Interaction.
It's going to be close.
Connor McDavid, plus 250, and Nathan McKinnon is plus 450. Johnny, when you always kind of go for the most value here. Like, what are you thinking with this? Because I know, like, if you're seeing minus 150, you're thinking that's a waste of my time.
Yeah, I would never bet a future at minus 150. I really like the McDavid. I know the Oilers were terrible yesterday, but McDavid, who's the best player in the world, at plus 250 to win that, I don't hate that at all. I mean, I'd probably sprinkle that. It's too late in the season to bet this probably, but if you're gonna get McDavid at that price, who's gonna get 140 points, 135 points he's at, it's not a bad bet for sure, especially if this Oilers team goes on a little late end of the season run here a little bit. But I'd probably take McDavid personally.
Yeah, I think the argument with Kucherov is just that Tampa, playoffs isn't necessarily guaranteed yet, right? They're fighting for potentially a higher seed to knock the Leafs down to the wild card, so they'd get second versus third and face Florida or Boston. So I think they have more to play for. So I would see why they're in top. Also, at the time of recording, he's in the lead of points. But, like you said, McDavid could pop off for a 5-point game or a 4-point game. At this time, a few months ago, McDavid wasn't even in contention for this, and he's risen all the way up. It's hard to argue against McDavid, and McDavid at plus money in any category, it just seems like free money. So I understand why Kucherov's a favorite here, but it's hard to bet against Connor McDavid in anything.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
It is, right?
It is. He's always there. He's always there. Johnny, have you been following March Madness now that the Jays have returned and I'm sure taken up a lot of your time?
Yeah, I've been watching. I didn't pay attention on the weekend as much. I watched kind of the back half of the game, but I've been paying attention to March Madness. Yeah.
So we're back. We're down to the Final Four. We're back. We're down to the Final Four. NC State and Purdue, and then Alabama and Connecticut. And obviously, a lot of eyes are on Purdue because we have a little Canadian boy over there.
Yeah, Zach Edey. I mean, this guy. It's just funny to watch. Like in the game against Tennessee, like they just threw the ball to him in the post. He's just taller than everyone, bigger than everyone. It's very like old school basketball. It's just fun to watch a guy just bully ball people. So it's been very fun to see that. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen this weekend. In our office March Madness pool, I've had Alabama who made the Final Four. So roll tide, hoping that by
good job for
next week. Thank you. Hoping by next week they're in the finals. They're playing UConn tomorrow. So, I'm just going to keep just happy to make it this far, but I'd love to see them win. But yeah, Zach Edey's really been a standout and putting Canada, giving us some great representation at the tournament so far.
Yeah, you were talking about him maybe being signed to the Raptors.
Wouldn't that be special?
I don't know. Like, how do you feel about this, Johnny? I got the whole Canadian thing, but like the Raptors are in a hole, in a dark, hole that they need a lot more help than obviously just this kid. Is this really something that they're going to prioritize?
No, I don't. He's not going to get drafted in the first round. Like he's fairly old. Like he'll probably be like a signing or maybe like a late second round draft pick. But Raptors stink. 15-game losing streak as of today. They lost yesterday. The worst loss in franchise history. Lost by 48.
Jeez, it's long.
Yeah, Zach Edey's game. I don't know if it transfers to the NBA. He's kind of slow. And I like I said, he's just dominating college kids right now. And we've seen tons of these stories where guys dominated in college at his size and went to the NBA and they were just terrible. So I'd put my money that he will not be a successful NBA player. If I was betting on it.
If I was a betting man, you are a betting man.
I'm a betting man. So yeah, but I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he is an NBA guy, to be honest.
I think. Like, just the Raptors don't really have much going for them right now, right? They stink. Grady Dick's getting a little bit better, but obviously there isn't much to be a fan of for the Raptors right now. I see this from a marketing perspective. If you draft this Toronto-born kid, he is projected to go the second round. The Raptors have the 32nd pick in the draft, so he is projected to go. It would be a bit of a reach to take him there, but this is a business. You're trying to sell jerseys. You're trying to sell tickets. Edey jerseys would probably fly off the shelf. Would you buy
a jersey that?
He's a big man. I'm not a big basketball jersey fan personally.
But I don't know if he's that guy. Like you need a superstar. No. You need like the Kawhi effect.
If they win the national championship though, and he puts up 40 points in the Final Four in the championship game. Obviously, his stock's going to rise a bit doing that on national TV for the whole world. Then you factor in Olympics this summer, too. He'll probably be on Team Canada. So if he shows out there, now you're talking about a guy whose stock is up here. If you're the Raptors, there's really the only appeal. It's a Toronto-born kid. Toronto, we got Kelly Olynyk, we got RJ Barrett, and we start to build that Canadian team that everyone's wanted to see. So if I'm the Raptors, why not? There's not much to be happy about right now. Just take a chance on this guy.
Jeez. I don't know if the Raptors can take any more chances, but
they might break the franchise losing streak this weekend,
this is out of control, man. Like it's actually like it's so concerning. It's insane.
We just saw a championship though a few years ago, right? Like,
but that's what I
yeah,
mean.
they were
the
so
fall
good.
from the
Oh,
top
yeah.
is so real.
Yeah,
those
it's bad.
memories will never be erased though, right? Like we all
No,
remember
for
how
sure.
electric it was here when the Raptors were good. So
Yeah, no, I don't think that's like what we're saying though. It's just like, how can you go from being the best team in the NBA to the worst team in the NBA?
I
Like, it's
wouldn't
mad.
give back that championship though for years of kind of middling the
No,
middle of the
we had
pack.
this conversation already. And we
Yeah.
always said go for the ring, but
Mhm.
I'm just saying, like, it's like, how do you? It's there's something's going on behind closed doors there that you got to really wonder about, because it's too much. It's way too much of a drop. Let's talk about some women's basketball though, really quick, because this has been a bit more exciting. You were saying,
Oh yeah,
women's March Madness, but we like there's so many things going on. I mean, we were talking about Caitlin Clark,
superstar.
going up against Buckers, Iowa, and UConn, and then Angel Reese and her announcement today. Lots going on in women's basketball, which is great. But Caitlin Clark, potentially, you tell me. She's got Barstool.
It's really weird what's going on right now.
What she's got? Who do you say? Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Calling her.
Yeah, Ice Cube's big three. Ice Cube tweeted he offered her $5 million to sign with his basketball league, as opposed to declaring for the WNBA. And then Dave Portnoy retweets that, says, "I'll give you $10 million to play for our intramural team." So obviously, you know, Sports Interaction, we like to have some fun. We put up props on both of these to see whether or not she would make either of those decisions. And from a financial standpoint, it doesn't make total nonsense, given the fact that she'd make more money playing with either of those two organizations than the WNBA. But I just find it really funny that for the first time, at least in a really long time, it seems like the women's tournament and players are getting spotlighted more than the men's players in March Madness, which is cool.
You know what they're not getting though is money.
No.
This is crazy. So Johnny Hudo was telling me before we started filming that Caitlin Clark was offered from the WNBA 80 million salary.
80 million? No. She would get
80 million. Jesus, sorry, 80,000.
I wish.
Me too. 80,000 a year salary.
Yeah, the average salary for a WNBA player.
Oh, sorry, the average. 80K.
Okay, it's actually it's a bit higher. It's a bit higher. Average salary for the WNBA season 2023, 147. So
still
a bit outdated
terrible.
number on my end.
Ridiculous. Insane. I don't know. This pisses me off.
Again, it's probably the legacy. It would be better if she went to the WNBA. So, I mean, I don't think.
Yeah, what is she gonna go to some Fugazi league?
I don't know. Yeah. Like, if you go to Barstool and you get 10 million to play on an intramural team, I don't know if Portnoy throws money around like it's no big deal. So I didn't think he was joking when he said that. I'm sure she'd be an asset to them from a content perspective. I'm sure she'd make a lot more money doing that with the brands that would come and be tied to her versus WNBA. But obviously, the professional route with basketball would be the WNBA. But I wouldn't rule out a career with Barstool. Maybe you never know. Maybe that could take her to that next level of superstardom.
But does she want to be famous for that, or does she want to be famous for being a baller?
That's the question.
Like, I get what Johnny's saying too. Legacy-wise, you obviously want to go with the WNBA, but if you're looking at the money, like, you're thinking about your future. You're looking at, like, maybe $200K a year, maybe if you're that good, and then you got 10 million just like that. Like, it's really depressing sometimes looking at women's sports and how much less they make. Like, geez Louise. And like you're saying, these games have kind of been more exciting.
Oh yeah.
These girls
Monday night, 9
yeah.
threes. That was insane. Like, she's playing,
she's
like, it's crazy. I'd like to see her in the NBA.
Yeah.
That crazy to say on here? I would like to see Caitlin Clark in the NBA.
She can shoot, man.
Yeah. The people are comparing her to freaking Steph.
Oh,
she's like so deep in those threes. My gosh.
That would be a cool 3-point contest. I know this year they did INSQ versus Steph Curry in the 3-point contest. I'd like to see Caitlin Clark versus Steph Curry. I think that would go viral, and that would be pretty cool to see. But yeah, I'd like to see her in the NBA. That would be
one
spectacle.
One step at a time.
Would that get Johnny to would you watch NBA if they actually pulled that off?
Yeah, Caitlin Clark puts asses in seats, man. She rocks. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Okay, we like that.
Okay, well, let's see if Caitlin Clark decides to not join the WNBA, but the NBA. All right, lastly, guys, your favorite sport,
yes,
is exploding, and a team very close to Toronto. I feel like a lot of Torontonians are feeling this because they are naturally Buffalo Bills fans. Stefon Diggs to the Texans. Guys, what the hell is going on?
What the heck? I think either Johnny or me said when we did NFL free agency preview that Diggs wouldn't be a Bill to start next season. But
yeah, we did
Houston's
say that.
a strange fit. What do you think about Houston?
Well, I mean, they're young, right? Pretty decent amount of cap space they have to go get a good receiver. They have Tank Dell, who I think is incredible, like one of the best young receivers in the game. They got the best young quarterback in the game in CJ Stroud. So I like this move. I really do. A lot of people call Diggs like a locker room cancer type of guy, which we'll see how that kind of plays out there in Houston. But I think this is a great move for the Houston Texans. They didn't really give up that much either. Kind of big salary. And I think they announced today that he'll be a free agent after this year. So,
so it's
kind of
more just like a trial
thing.
here.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing that wide receiver core, man. That team's gonna be really good next year. Really good.
Oh yeah. I just find it bizarre that the Bills would be willing to trade him to an AFC contender. Like there could be a situation where we see the Bills versus the Texans either in a situation to qualify for playoffs or even in a playoff game. And you already have Diggs with that piss and vinegar facing Buffalo. It's just very interesting to see them traded to a team that they may face in the playoffs down the line.
Yeah, it's the Texans are good. Like they're for real.
Oh,
we saw last year. So all it takes is a good quarterback, and then you just get good receivers, and this team is going to be special. I think they're going to be really good, man. I'm excited to watch what Stefon Diggs does. I mean, he was really bad last year in the second half of the season, from week 7 to 17, and in the playoffs he did nothing. But like I said, we'll see what happens, man. I know there's some locker room problems potentially there, but if he goes back to his old self with this Houston Texans team, this team's gonna be unstoppable with this quarterback.
Well, he just tweets like a jaded ex-girlfriend. Like it's just weird. Like he had all these cryptic tweets, and then there was one I saw where someone was like, "Oh, Josh Allen doesn't need a star receiver," and he responds, "You sure?" Like maybe he is that locker room, cancer or tough person to be around. We'll see in Houston because there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. They're going to win a lot of games. Will Diggs get the ball as much? Probably not. So will we see this kind of diva side of Stefon Diggs resurface in Houston? I don't know.
It's the CTE kicking in, guys. Honestly, this is like Antonio Brown 2.0. Like there's little signs. Whenever an NFL player starts acting a little off, I'm like, oh, this is it. They've gotten hit way too many times in the head. Sean, producer Sean, checking in with you. What are your thoughts just on this really quickly? Because I know you love the NFL.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I
can tell.
And back to you, Sarah. And no, I thought it was a low cost move for the Texans. I think and low risk, high reward. I think somebody like Diggs can come in and put up 1,500 yards if he's not going to be a big problem for them. So I love it. I don't know why the Bills would want to give him up other than they just seem desperate to get rid of him. They're eating a lot of money to do it. And yeah, it's interesting. And now, like Johnny's saying, the Texans are, quote, a wagon, and they're both plus 1,400 to win the Super Bowl next year at Sports Interaction. Yep. So I don't know. I like the Texans more than I like the Bills.
Division for sure. Super Bowl. I mean, shit, maybe you're right. You could be onto something there.
Johnny, do you like that future hit?
Yeah, their division isn't really that crazy hard. We saw last year, but the Texans is probably a very public bet now, especially after that trade. So I hate riding with the public on certain stuff. So I'm assuming that team is probably getting hammered to win the Super Bowl next year right now.
Right now, the odds on the Bills to win the Super Bowl are the same as the Texans. So take of that what you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, great to chat with you guys once again. We took a little hiatus off to all hang out in person. Johnny, you got a big weekend ahead of you, eh? The Yankees.
I know.
You feeling good?
Ready to go to war.
How you? Yeah, big weekend for you down there.
Listen. It's at Yankee Stadium. It's their opening day tomorrow at 1:00. It's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. They're one of the best teams in baseball right now.
Oh,
and the Jays are kind
sorry,
of
guys.
Cold,
that was my mistake because in football and soccer, the first team is the home team.
Oh,
yeah.
And my brain didn't do the click to switch over that. Yeah, sorry. That's why I was going to ask you if you were down there. But still a massive weekend for you, regardless, because obviously Yankees Jays, big rivalry. We all hate them.
I'm excited for it. I'm pumped. So, Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to war online with Yankee fans. They're
There you
already coming on me
go.
in the mention, so it'll be fine.
Oh,
It'll be
I'm
fun.
sure they are.
Will either of you be watching WrestleMania coming up this weekend?
Can't say that I will be actually.
No, I will not be.
You're
My guy JR will. Jay's retro. He'll be
Yes,
buzzing away.
shout out Jay's Retro. He's
Yeah.
throwing
My
out
guy.
bets for this stuff too. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he is.
I wore the shirt for today. Can you name anyone on the shirt?
I can't
Either
even
can
see
he-
your shirt.
It's the Bloodline. No, anyone? Sean, I know he's got it.
The guy
I
in the
can't
front
see
looks
that far.
like-
Okay.
Kind of like Romeo Santos.
His name's Roman. That's pretty close.
Roman
Pretty close,
Reigns.
pretty
Romeo
close.
Santos is like
Roman, yes, John. That it is Roman Reigns. That is on the shirt right
Yeah,
there.
I know
no,
Roman
can't,
Reigns.
say
There we
that.
go. He's got
Oh.
one.
I'll be watching Liverpool Man United this week, Johnny.
Yep.
I think
They're gonna get
Liverpool are
shit
absolutely going to
kicked.
smack them. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
going to be demolishing. I'm ready to. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots to look forward to, guys, this weekend. I hope you all enjoy your respective sports that you watch. And we'll be back again next week, same time, same place at Sports Interaction Studio. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy all the sports and enjoy talking shit.
Talking shit.